Hello, everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is a match reaction. I don't know how this is going to go. I'll be honest with you now. Watching that game, all of my anger was in the build-up to the game, and then it kind of kicked off, and it just went exactly how we forecasted it. So how the manager couldn't see that, I just do not know. But look, anyway, as always, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like on the video. Yeah, the lineup. What the fuck? Um, I, I don't know. I know we're going to get this as well. There were signs of hope. You're probably referring to the second half where Leeds sat back and held on to a 2-0 lead and basically took the piss out of us, gave us the ball and said, try and take us apart. Have a look at the stats, mate. Honestly, there is no fucking hope. That's all that happened there. But look, anyway, the lineup. We all know what we saw on Monday night. We thought he can't do that again. There's no way he can do that again. Not a chance. And he didn't. There were a few little tweaks. But he started with, I don't know. I don't actually know what the shape was. When we was lined up, there was just players all over the place. It was like he was just trying to create a little bit of chaos and confusion. So I don't know what the fucking shape was, but we had Wan-Bissaka and Scholes inverted again at the start. You had Tadibo and Kilman again. You had Irvin. You had Irvin and Souček again after what we've just fucking seen. Fernandez was dropped. You had Paqueta. You had Diouf in there. You had Somerville, who looked like he was in the middle, or I don't even know. He didn't even know where he was supposed to be. Bowen out right. And again, we started with no striker. Now, we all heard the words of Nuno. I don't give any credence to anything these fucking managers say. He's just another one. They talk bollocks. They do. We want to win the fans over. We want to do this. We want to score goals. You want to score fucking goals? What, without a striker on the fucking pitch? How's that ever going to happen, mate? That was a suicidal lineup. It weren't ever going to go any other way. Leeds was shit tonight. They were poor. That's probably the poorest I've seen Leeds this season. We were lucky. They had a few injuries. But they scored 2 goals relatively easily. Yeah, you can point to mistakes. You had one was from a set piece. The other one was like Wan-Bissaka sort of ball watching. But like I said, when you play the way that we're playing, it's always going to be down to someone making a mistake. We just ain't got a fucking clue what we're doing. The manager ain't got a clue what he's doing. He looks surprised. He looks surprised it didn't work. Honestly, it was bizarre. But Leeds had the better chances throughout the game. Yes, I know. We had a goal disallowed. Very unlucky. Very unlucky from good work from Bowen through to Paqueta. Paqueta's 6 inches offside or whatever it was, or a toe offside. Bashes it in off the crossbar. Would it have made it a bit different? I don't know. Because the only reason that the second half played out the way that the second half played out was because Leeds were 2-0 up and they decided to just sit deep in a block, gave us the ball, almost mugged us off and said, you ain't going to do fuck all. And do you know what? We didn't really, not until the 90th minute. That sort of flick header from Fernandez. Nothing. They had the better chances. They could have had 3-4 goals. Yeah, we could have had a couple as well. But this is Leeds, and that weren't Leeds at their best. Again, we got beat convincingly by Brentford on Monday, and we've gone away to Leeds in a must-win game for us. An absolute must-win game. And there's just not enough there. Now, look, there was more effort tonight, and there was more fight, and we kept going right till the end. There was a lot of players. Again, I'm hoping I'm not going to see people pinning it on single individuals tonight. There were some bad performances. There's people that shouldn't be in that team. Irvin and Souček should be nowhere near that fucking team. We look substantially better when Potts and Fernandez came into that team to replace those two. Yet for 60, 70 minutes, we had to suffer that shit. It's not fucking good enough, mate. And I don't want to hear all this bullshit about he's just trying to get used to his team. He's got to get to know them. He's been a Premier League manager for donkey's years. He's studied this team. He's studied the opposition. He's had them now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They're shit. Souček's done. Irvin ain't good enough. And please tell me, Obviously, he threw Wilson on today. Praise the Lord. You know, Wilson, he weren't terrible. He won't get no chances. But why, oh why, is Guilherme not getting anywhere near our bench? Not in the last game, not in this game. Why are we not giving ourselves options off the bench? He took off fucking Somerville and brought Magessa on. He took off Somerville when we was 2-0 down and brought Magessa on in place of him. None of it made any fucking sense. It never ceases to amaze me at West Ham. This guy, you know, we can probably make a good manager look shit, but we make an average manager look dog shit. And this guy looks dog shit, doesn't he? He does. I mean, the other issue we've got is we might have a situation unfolding here where Nuno's a bit of a blagger and he's always relied on his number 2 who's always been with him and he ain't got his number 2. So he's flying solo. He don't know what the fuck he's doing because that's what it appears. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Now, he ain't going to go. He ain't going to get sacked. Should he go? Fuck me, should he go? We're desperate. We're literally on 4 points after 9 games. In the Avram Grant season, after 10 games, we had 6 points. This is like one of our worst starts ever. And it ain't like you can see light at the end of the tunnel. It ain't like we're being unlucky. It ain't like, oh, you know, we're going to be all right in the next game. You can't see that. We're fucked. How have we arrived at this point? I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we can take this seriously. A big shout out to all the fans that drove down there today. Kerry, our own Happy Hammerette. She's not well at the moment, and she still travelled down there, went away. You know, people have to take time off work, travel all the way down there, and just safe journey back to everyone. And do you know what? A great atmosphere. Our best period of that game was when I would say Potts and Fernandes were introduced. Potts was brilliant, by the way, I thought. Completely. We looked like we had a midfield all of a fucking sudden. We had people that were capable, that could play in the team, in the middle of the park. It looked a lot better. But, yeah, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know where we go from here. Where do we go? We're going to end up bottom. Wolves are playing Burnley at home on Saturday or Sunday. We're going to end up bottom, and we play Newcastle next. The next time that we've got a winnable game against Burnley, we're probably going to be like 7 points from safety. That's where we're going to... Are we going to beat Burnley? Are we? I don't know. So if we get anywhere near January, which we're probably going to, I think we're going to be 10 points minimum adrift from 17th place come Christmas. That means we're fucked. Because you can look at that and go, well, that's only 3 points. It's only, it's only 3 wins. Yeah, but you've got to rely on everyone else losing as well. That's a massive gap. You've got to go on like a 6-7 game unbeaten run to even stand a chance of getting out of that. It ain't going to happen. You can't afford for this to happen. So, yeah, unfortunately now, I do think that we're done. I think I'm going to call it now. I think West Ham are relegated. I really do. And again, like the comment I put up earlier on, I know we're going to have that. And fair play to you, mate. I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling you an idiot. I would love to have the faith that you've got and to be able to have, to be able to cling on to anything. I really haven't. I just see things for what they are. We're shit. We looked a lot better in the second half because Leeds basically took the piss out of us. They sat back in 2 deep banks of 5, gave us a ball and said, come on, show us what you've got. What did we have? Fuck all. That's the long and short of it. Nothing. They just played counter-attack in the second half. So, of course, we're going to have more of the ball. I'm not feeling angry now in this one. I'm not. I didn't think... Because I never know. But someone said to me in the chat, is this going to be an angry rant? And I said, an angry review. And I said, I don't know until I get going. I don't know. Sometimes just me face winds me up. But I never know how they're going to go. They're not predetermined. But in this one, I'm telling you, it's just a bit humbling, really. We are shit. We are where we belong. I think we deserve to be rock bottom of this league, and that is entirely representative of what these owners have done to this club. If you just look at it over the last 7-year period, where they're taking £700 million of West Ham's money, not their money, because they've never put a penny of their own fucking money in. So they're spending West Ham's money, our club's money, and they are pissing it up the wall. And they have made us... I said twice as bad as what we were 7 years ago when we had the likes of Yarmolenko, Fornals, Lanzini, we had Noble, we had Rice, we had Haller, we had Anderson, we had all of these players, we had Cresswell, we had fucking Ogbonna, we had all these players. They've spent £700 million and this is what we've ended up with. And it ain't even really a poor reflection of... I feel sorry for the players. What I felt today watching that game, I saw it in Bowen's face. I saw it in Paqueta's face. There was only a handful of players. Wan-Bissaka, they looked like they was feeling it today. They were trying, they was getting emotional. They were. Paqueta looked like he was going to fucking cry 3 times. But there are players there that care. They all care. They've got professional pride. They have got professional pride. You can't sort of say they're going out there, they're trying. No, they're not. They're being set up to fail. If you're talking about fine margins in games, you're right. So in the Premier League, the margins are so fine. That's why these managers get paid a fucking fortune. Because quite often it comes down to which manager sets their team up the right way to give their team half a chance. Our team are on the back foot straight away. They're fighting a losing battle. They're pissing in the wind. They are. They've got no chance. They must be getting so fucking bored with losing and so bored. I mean, how can Nuno, honestly, take that team after this game into the changing room and have a go at them? Same as on Monday after Brentford. How can he really? Because he's made several mistakes himself. He ain't set him up for success. If I was a player in that team on Monday night, I'd have been questioning him left, right and centre, saying, you taking the piss, having a go at me? Look at the fuck at what you've done. The geezer's fucking useless, I'm afraid. He is. I never thought he was. Well, he isn't useless. He's useless for West Ham. He is. He hasn't got the team. He never was the right man. He never had the team that he needed to play the way that he wanted to play. He didn't. This isn't unusual for Nuno. It's not his. It's his 4th job in 6 years. He's never seen a contract out. He loves a payout. I said this before we signed him. When you're trying to recruit someone, a new manager, especially when you look at what we've just been through with Lopetegui, with Potter, we've had to pay him off. You want to take on managers that haven't got a long history of being sacked and paid off, because a lot of these managers are mercenary fucks. They are. It's the best job in the world. Nuno's got a 3-year contract. If we pay him off in 2 months, he gets paid 3 years' money for 2 months' work. You don't get that anywhere else. About 15 million, maybe more. I'm told he's on about £6 million a year. So I don't know. What do we do now? Because you're hearing it with Skint. You heard from the Athletic. What's his name? The guy that came on before the game, and he said Ornstein, and he said that West Ham will be reporting in the next account year record losses in the Premier League. Apparently, that's what we're going to be reporting. We're up shit creek. It's sad. It really is sad. And when you look at what's just happened with Sheffield Wednesday, if we fall out of this league, which it looks like we're going to, I don't want to get even more morose, but I'm sorry. I think if you look at some of the clubs that are struggling this year, Southampton are struggling. Will Steele, the manager that we all wanted, I think he's only managed to win about 4 games this year. They're about 12th in the league, aren't they? It's not easy in the Championship, especially when you ain't got the world-class players, the difference makers, because they'll all be sold. You need that 12th man. You need an Ellen Road. You need or a Portman Road. You need that kind of intense atmosphere. You need Upton Park. West Ham need Upton Park. We need it. That's what you need. You need the 12th man when it starts getting dirty and gritty. We ain't got that. We're never going to have that. So ultimately, the long and short is, I feel like they've just fucking killed us. Barring an absolute miracle, I don't see how we get out of it. I really don't. And it ain't even saying that we've got the worst players in the world, like I was saying earlier on with the point I was trying to make. But the pieces just don't fit, especially with this type of manager, with this manager we've got in. It's a complete mishmash of different players, We've probably got, 8 or 9 players that would go elsewhere and do really well. They would do. But playing here and together in this unit that we've built, it don't work. I just think that we're fucked. I really do. And look, everyone was laughing at me. Look, I'm telling you now, and I still would. You're going to laugh at me. I still fucking would. I would take Ange. Yes, I would. because you need to get the fans on board. You need to get the players inspired. A lot of these players that we've got, they need to be inspired. They need to play on the front foot. We can't just sit and defend because it isn't safe. Defending deep isn't safe. We're just going to get fucked anyway. The best way that we can defend is by keeping the ball up the other end because we can't defend. We've got to try and go forward. And I know we haven't got a striker, but we do have a lot of talent. I mean, I think it's disgraceful that Guilherme, in 2 games now, has not been on the bench. Not at all. You know, I just can't understand that. We've got no balance on the bench. We've got no one that can impact a game. I don't get it. He completely nullified Jimmy today. Jimmy was shit today. He was poor. But I don't know where he was actually playing. I don't know. I thought Diouf was poor. I thought Tadibo was poor. I thought Kilman was Kilman. Shit. Souček and Irvin, just anonymous. Might as well not be there. Paqueta was trying. I'll tell you what, he was more than trying today. Paqueta actually done a lot of good stuff today. Bowen done a lot of good stuff today. Jimmy did nothing. Not really. You know, he made a lot of bad decisions today. I don't know. And I thought Potts and Fernandes, when they came on, they did well. Shame about Scholes, by the way. I do want to give Scholes a mention because obviously he went down and he went off injured. That was sad to see. He was down for about 5.5 minutes and he got stretched off. So I'm hoping that it's not too bad for Scholes. So I do wish you well, mate. But no, I just think it's shocking. What I'm going to do, because like I said, I'm not raging. So if anyone does want to phone in, let me try and pair me. I'll try and pair my phone up. 1 minute. This hasn't worked the last 2 times, so it probably won't fucking work. Give us a minute. I'll end up doing it old-fashioned again. Right, give us a minute and I'll pair me phone up. And you can phone in. And tell me what you think. What do you do now? I mean, what do you do? I think if West Ham do want to survive, Nuno has to get sacked. I mean it. Nuno's getting nothing out of this team. We're going down. We're going down. They've got to roll the dice again or just accept our fate. Because we're going to go. We are. So what do you do? Do you just sit and stick with him and hope that he can... I don't know. I don't know. It's bizarre. The situation is fucked. Right. No, it ain't going to work. All right, okay. I can do it the old-fashioned way anyway because I've done it before. So if anyone does want to phone in and have a chat with me, please do. I'll carry on. I'll go through the comments. So, where are we? I won't go right to the top. So we'll start with Jake, who says, absolutely shocking. Yes, it was. And then we've got Ibrahim, who says, no, he doesn't, Nick. His severance payment stopped the second he takes a new job. No, you are wrong. Because it all depends on how they leave. You see, if you've got 2 options when a manager leaves, you can either carry on paying them their weekly salary, and then when they get another job, that stops. Or if there's, say, 10 million left on that contract, you can negotiate a severance payment of 5 million. We do that. We've just done that with Potter. Why do you think Potter's just jumped straight into that Sweden job? So if we'd have waited, if we'd have done it the right way, but then again, he wouldn't have gone and got another job then. He would have done what he did with Chelsea. But what we've done is we've negotiated a severance package. So, yeah, that is basically what... yeah, it's not always the same. You are right in one respect. That is how it can work. It might be the case with Ange. I don't know. You know, if Ange hasn't been paid off, then he ain't going to want to go and jump into another job yet. I mean, apart from anything else, I don't know that they're never going to appoint someone like Ange anyway. Because Sullivan's a thick fuck. He'll never get it. He seems to think that this, you know, it'll be Cooper next. We'll go and get Cooper. If Nuno gets sacked, we'll go and get Cooper in next. That's what they'll do. Because they haven't got a fucking clue. They haven't. In fact, do you know what I said? Rather than them appoint another manager that's going to fail, if you're going to get rid of Nuno, fuck him off and just promote Robson. You've got the team there already. You know, it's our coaching staff. Promote Robson and just, you know, just do it in-house. That's what I would do now. I'm fucked off them going out getting in absolute dud managers. The losses to Brentford and Leeds, all down to Nuno, especially picking Souček. They are all down to him. They are. That's not to say that we would have won had we'd have picked the absolute perfect team. You just don't know. But one thing that you can say is, categorically, he made several fuck-ups in these games. Glaring errors. And as we've said, we'll say fine margins in the Premier League. What chance have you got if your manager is making such obvious fucking mistakes and in shows? I said before this game, the people in the WhatsApp group will confirm. I said, we're going to find out tonight about Nuno. You know, a good manager, a positive manager, will know and accept when they've made a mistake. They'll hold their hands up and they'll bin a plan and they'll change it and they'll do what they've got to do to move on, because that shows strength of character. A useless fucking manager, they're stubborn, they're weak, and they refuse to accept they've done anything wrong, and they want to put the blame on everyone else. I've heard Nuno's been blaming players now for not doing the basics and stuff like that. They blame everyone else. It can never be them. That's a sign of weakness and a sign of someone that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I predict that Nuno is going to be the former. He's going to make mass changes because I rated him higher than what he's just done. These people just keep on fucking surprising me with how shit they are, honestly. So yeah, basically, he's a stubborn mercenary fucker, is what I think now. That's what I think, you know. Big Phil said he signed a petition from 6 different email accounts. It's not hard. No, it ain't hard. It's not. I know a few people have been struggling. I know they have. But keep trying. Get your name on there. It's important. You know, I've only got a couple of weeks. Not next week, which is Newcastle. The week after, which is Burnley. We're going on the march. We're handing over the petition. You know, something to look forward to. Come and meet us down there. We're gonna meet. We're gonna have some pie and mash. Go for a beer, and then we're probably gonna go and watch a game in the pub afterwards. Get your name on that petition. You know, fuck me. Surely you want this lot out now. Look at what they've done. They couldn't be any worse. They physically couldn't. There's no argument for it. They've completely dismantled this club. So, yeah, they've just got to fucking go now, in my opinion. Hello, Phil. Hang on. That's the wrong one. Let's try again. Phil?
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I've had better evenings, I must admit.
You've had better evenings?
Yeah. I don't know. As soon as I saw that announcement of the lineup, I thought, I can't believe that. I just couldn't believe it.
No, I must admit, I didn't think he'd do exactly the same. It wasn't exactly the same, but, you know, it was, if that makes sense.
The three bits that 4 bits I thought we can't do that again is I wouldn't have had Scholes on the right-hand side.
No.
But that's the lesser of the evils. I thought Souček and bloody Irvine again in the middle. What, they're going to get ripped apart. This is before it even started.
Yeah. No striker.
And no striker.
No striker. I know. And for me, after Tadebo's performance, I was surprised that Tadebo was started again. Not. Do you know what? A lot of people have been ripping into him. Tadebo weren't as bad today. He weren't as bad.
I don't know about that.
I don't think he was as bad. I mean, he weren't good. I'm not saying he was good, but he weren't as bad as what he was on Monday night.
I honestly think, looking at those 2 centre halves and being a kid playing in that position, they are so basically getting so many basic things wrong when you actually evaluate what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even getting goals.
Well, Phil, I'm going to ask you to speak up because Happy's asked you. I've turned you up as loud as I can, but you are very quietly spoken. Speak like me.
I can't because this phone's knackered. I think is that any better?
Go on. Anyway, go on. Say your points, mate. Go on.
What I was saying was, is that any better?
No, what it is, because I'm struggling to connect it to me box of tricks at the moment, so I'm having to just put you on loudspeaker onto me mic. But if you're not loud, people can't hear you very well. But go on, I'll be quiet.
What I was saying was the 2 centre halves seem to be getting so many basic things wrong. They're not even getting goal side at times. And they just can't seem to be able to get off the ground. They look worse because they miss time in the jumps, even to the headers.
Yeah.
It's all positional centre halves, isn't it? It's all position. I mean, look at the best centre halves. Read the game. I mean, they don't have to be the quickest in the world.
No.
Look at our most famous centre half, Bobby Moore. can't jump, can't. When they looked at him, and they weren't going to.
Well, look at but look at defenders more recently. You look at Alvin Martin. Even if you go even very recently, you go to Ogbonna never had pace. He could read the game.
You read the game. You can get yourself in the right position. But these two bloody clowns, they don't. Well, first of all, I don't think they can even. I don't think they understand each other if you put them in a quiet room.
Yeah,
like I'm in at the minute. I think if you sat them down without even running, they couldn't understand each other.
Yeah. No,
so
mate.
No chance.
It was shocking, but how has that left you feeling with the for this season now? Because obviously, you know, you are actually quite a positive fan. You know, you always like to give managers a chance. But what do you do now with this guy? Because this guy clearly ain't going to get a tune out of West Ham, is he?
Well, the decision he's making, obviously, I've really lost with it all. I think the main thing for us is to focus on getting the owners out, and we've got to just go back, scratch it all off, and go from there. I just can't see how we don't get relegated.
No.
So I think the more pressure we can put on the board to get that bit solved and get them out, and then we've got a plan to what we're going to do. Now it's going to be really hard going down into that championship because obviously, but it's bloody. It's cutthroat.
It's fit. I mean, look. I was saying this to my son before the game, right? I think I've arrived at a stage now where I love Paqueta, I love Bowen. There's not really many other players that I love in that team anymore. I used to have loads. I had Lanzini, I had Fornals. There was loads of players. Antonio, Cresswell, Soufal. There's loads of players that you kind of love in the team. I've lost a little bit of identity with this team now. You know, for me now, if we were to drop and we were to clear this fucking lot out and go again with, you know, a big bulk of our academy players that would get a chance. Look, for me, it ain't ideal. I don't want to drop out of the Premier League, but we're going. I think we're going, mate.
The only thing I would do personally, but I don't think anybody manages. See, I think you said something there where the managers nowadays are just absolute mercenaries. They're looking after themselves already.
They are.
And they ain't going to roll the dice like me and you would.
No.
We just shove a load of kids from the under 23s and say, if we're going to go down, let's go down on the badge and fight for it.
Yeah.
But they ain't going to prepare to do that because they'll get so much negative criticism from so-called pundits that know better. They just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't put themselves in that sort of window because they're never going to get another job.
I think you've got it. So you've got it kind of. I'll tell you what, I did feel that today. I know a lot of people have been getting frustrated with the team, and I have. I did on Monday night because there weren't enough effort there. They was very defeated. But today, I saw a lot of players really trying today. They were running their asses off today. They were trying everything. We're just not good enough. We're not good enough, Phil.
No, but when you've got people on the bench, which you know that Potts, I mean, as soon as he came on, what a change.
Yeah.
Now, did you hear the commentator that turned around? He'd been on the field just under 20 minutes, and Potts had more touches than Souček has had all game.
Yeah, but that's standard for Souček. Look, we've been keeping Souček on.
It's just like, yeah, but how can nobody? The last three managers, how can they not see it and we can?
Because they're lazy, mate. What Souček is a cheat code player. He's historically been that guy that can go and you can play shit, but then he'll just pop up and he'll score a goal and he'll get you out of trouble. But what people fail to recognise is all they see is a goal. You know, he'll score 8 goals or 10 goals in a fucking season. But what they fail to recognise is how he hinders the team when you put him in the middle. You know, you can't progress through the middle. So think of all the chances that we could create and goals that we could score if he weren't fucking there.
I tell you the other thing I've noticed, it's not just us, it's a lot of football actually, and a lot of teams do it, is, you know, when the opposition's running at you, right, they get a break,
Yeah.
Normally, when you've had a half-decent attack, they get a break and they're running at you, right? Like, I've done it a couple of times tonight at Leeds.
Yeah.
And all of our lot are running away.
Yeah,
all
I
of
know.
them. Now, one of them, especially centre-half, one of the centre-half has got to say, right, I'm sticking my neck out. I'm going forward. I'm going to attack it. Now, you cover me. But when you notice, if they did do it, they're not even in a position to cover it.
No, they're not in a position to cover it. Yeah, but also what we've got.
I mean by their communication, they're not talking to each other.
Yeah, but we've got kind of we've got a nature now in not in the game, because I watch other games and they've got players that fly into fucking tackles and stuff like that. But you know what? And I am going to make a little bit of a dig at some of our fans that when we had the likes of Alvarez would go and put in a rash tackle and get a yellow card, and they'd be all over him, talking about him on fucking YouTube shows for half an hour, saying what a liability he is. Fuck off. I want someone that's going to go and kick someone up in the air. I'm sorry. Especially when you're playing shit, I want someone that's going to go and fucking put their foot in. I just do. It's important.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's really hard to know where we're going to go from here, isn't it? I just don't see it. I really don't see it. Those two centre halves, there's got to be a drastic culling there. Now, what have we got that could come in from the under 23s? Something has got to be better than them two.
I think the issue that you've got, from what I've seen, I've watched the under, because I went and watched them over Rush Green a couple of days ago. People have been talking about Kante a lot. Kante looks good in spells. I watched him for a full game against Brighton. It weren't great. That was against Brighton's, their under 21s, their B team. He didn't have a great game. He really didn't. Fearon looked good in that game. But what I didn't see, and this was something that was mentioned I listened to the commentary on the way home for the last 15 minutes we left. And I listened to the commentary of it, and it was Mark Phillips that was on there. And Mark Phillips did say, we haven't got a lot of players, even in the academy, that have got voices that speak. There's not a lot of natural leaders in there. So I don't think we've got any natural leaders coming through. We've got a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent there. But what we need someone, you almost need like a Mark Noble or a Declan Rice type character. Someone that can come in and ruffle some feathers and have a, they haven't all got to be like, but we need one, Phil. We've got to find a fucking leader from somewhere.
I don't know where. I thought when he came to us as Kilman was supposed to be, the Wolves captain, he's coming in, and what a flop he's ended up, isn't he? Mm. He's completely gone, he has. I mean, he can't even get off the ground.
No, I know, mate.
He's just fucking hell.
I know, mate. I know. But anyway, Phil, I'm going to let you go, mate. I'm going to give Nolly a call back. It's been lovely talking to you.
All right, take it easy.
Top man. Cheers, Phil.
All right, bye.
Right, let's give Nolly a call back. How long until the C-bomb comes out, do you reckon?
Hello, mate.
Hello, is that Samaritans?
How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. How about you?
Yeah, fucking sick, mate. Sick of me fucking gonads.
What do you make of that? Honestly,
if it was me, right now, just think about this for a minute. I'd play Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan left back, Walker Peters right back.
Yeah.
I'd fuck Tadibo and Kilman right off, because the pair of them, as centre backs, are fucking useless. Ronnie Corbett would jump higher than them two cunts.
They're both terrible, mate.
No, but what I would do, I would put Souček at the back, and I would get hold of Fenerbahce and drag Alvarez back, because he is exactly the type of player that we need.
Nolly, you can't, mate. He's a liability. He gets yellow cards. You can't, mate. You can't.
Who Alvarez?
I'm joking. That's what people say about him. He puts a second and he gets booked.
No, fuck that. He's just what we need. He should be given the captain's armband, Alvarez, because he's got bollocks. Fans. And Souček can jump. At least, if all we say to him is fucking defend the eyeballs at the back, he ain't going to cause like mayhem like he does when we stick him in the midfield. That's what I'd do. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, Walker Peters, Souček, and Alvarez.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate, it would block us up. It would block us up, mate. I mean, we're fucked really in the midfield, because that's where Paqueta should be, really. We played like Somerville left, Bowen right. Wilson looked all right, to be honest. He sort of gives it an effort, but we do need a centre forward. But the midfield, mate, other than Paqueta, we're fucking too bob.
No, mate, we are.
There's no pace.
No.
And even if there's no pace, you've got to put your foot in. You've got to have a go. And they're just not doing it. And I blame, obviously, Sullivan and Brady, but this for me started with Lopetegui.
Yeah.
And Potter got rid of Alvarez. We got rid of fucking Kudos.
Yeah.
What do they fucking expect? They got to go, Nick. That fucking ball has got to go. Because we'll be playing Dagenham and Redbridge.
See, the thing is, mate, Nuno's shit, right? He's for us. This is not working. He was a wrong choice. Yeah, but
I would have had edge. Because he plays our type of football.
But I'm against us sacking him and them going out and getting another manager in because it'll be another wanker.
Yeah, but isn't that the same thing? It's just badly run.
Yeah,
100% put into it.
100%.
I mean, people moan about Tim Stainton. When Stainton was there, we were getting players through the fucking door.
I know.
You know, and now that poison dwarf and that horrible fucking witch, they're killing our club, mate.
They are, mate.
And they don't give a fucking monkey's cunt that he don't care about, like blockades and boycotts and all that. He just don't care.
No.
He's fucking us right royal centrally.
I completely agree, mate. But the thing is, what are we doing? I mean, look, they are going to go. They're on the ropes. You know, these are obviously we had the boycott. They're going to have to, mate. There ain't going to be nothing left. There ain't going to be there's going to be nothing left. I mean, from if West Ham drop out the Premier League and we don't make the most of the parachute money and come back and we end up down there for 2 or 3 years, West Ham are properly fucked. We are.
If you look at that team tonight, right, we get battered in the Championship.
Yeah.
Because no one will put their foot in. No one will put their foot in. And you're playing twice a week near enough in the Championship.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get fucking battered, mate. We'd be lucky to stay in that division. So, it's bad recruitment, fucking all round. And like that Fernandes, we bought 40 million, fucking two. I don't care if he scored today. He's fucking useless.
He's been poor. He's been so poor, mate.
Kilman's a cunt. Tadibo is a cunt. Like the one that I do actually like, at least Mavropanos, and he's got a fucking mistake in him, by God, has he? Right? But at least he fucking has a goal.
No, do you know what though? I've said this to Mickey the other night. Mavropanos does make the for fuck's sake errors in a game. Like he'll make one a game, but 99% of the game he defends properly. At least he can defend.
Fucking hell! Like it reminds me of Repka. I mean, fuck me, that boy had a mistake in him.
Yeah.
But at least he was 100%er.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
They've just got no bollocks about them. They just turn over fucking 2-0 after 14 minutes.
I know.
Fucking hell.
I know, mate.
It's just doing me in, bruv.
I know. But like I said, where'd you go from here, mate? Where do you actually?
Well, as I said, we've got to stop the right at the back.
Yeah.
I'll put Souček at the back because he can head the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Right? Just say, win them in the end. When it comes, you hoof it out. Right? But get Alvarez back. Fuck me, we need Alvarez. And I love Bowie. Don't get me wrong, I love him. He's no fucking captain. You need to put the armband on fucking Alvarez and he leads by a fucking example. I don't think he's frightened of giving them a bollocking on the field if they ain't pulling their weight.
I do think that nothing defines West Ham this season more than when you look at the fact we're playing Irving and Souček in central midfield and we loaned out Alvarez.
So this is Potter, though. Potter's a cunt.
Yeah.
I tell you, I hate Lopetegui, but I fucking hate Potter more. I hate him more.
Nuno looks lost already to me. You know, I don't. And the thing is, I don't dislike Nuno. I don't think he's a bad bloke. I don't. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
I mean, you can't make the cake if you ain't got the right ingredients.
No.
You know, and honestly, mate, but that's what I would do. As I say, Obi-Wan on the left because I know he can play left.
Yeah.
Walker Peters on the right. Souček and fucking Alvarez back, and then we've got a good front line, but it's the midfield. Stick Paqueta in there, and then you got to hope for the best.
I don't know about the front line. We've got some good players, but we're desperately missing a striker, mate. We're desperately missing a striker.
We are, but if you think he's going to put his, I mean, fucking hell.
He's going to have to in January. Right. He's got no choice. He's going to have to spend some money in January. He's got to roll the dice.
Mate, if it was me, I'd get fucking Duran back.
Yeah, I'll have to fucking open that can of worms again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I reckon we could get him this time round.
Yeah.
And I think he's a fucking good player.
I agree, mate. I agree.
But we definitely need centre-backs. We definitely need some fucking legs in that midfield. And we definitely need a centre-forward. But Sullivan, you know what he's like. We'll end up getting fucking Jamie Vardy. And I've got nothing against Jamie Vardy. He's a fantastic fucking, sort of striker in his day, like Callum Wilson. But we need to be getting younger fellas in. And John Duran, for me, we get him back. It just depends on the money, doesn't it?
Yeah,
no. Tony, but I don't think he'd come. That's what you said. Why the fuck would he come to us?
Well, no, I just don't see why many people would. I do think there'll be an opportunity. I said this to Mickey last night. We've got the World Cup in the summer. So what I think that we will have is an opportunity to get some high-profile loan players. You know, like when you get these big international players that are on the outskirts of their team, they want to get in the World Cup. They're not really getting much game time. I think there'll be opportunities there to get some big loans in. But as for permanent signings, I'm not so sure, mate. I'm not so sure. But anyway, Nolly, mate, I'm going to let you go because I've got someone just.
Ward-Prowse is looking for a club.
Yeah, at least he's fucking gone. But anyway, mate, I'm going to let you go because I've got a bloke on the screen just waiting to come on, and then I'm going to give.
Good to talk to you, Nick.
And you, cheers, Nolly. Thanks, mate.
Ta-ra, mate.
Right, Gary from Romford. I will call you after I've had a chat with this wonderful gentleman. Here we go,
mate. Can you hear me?
I will if I put my headphones on. Hang on.
Hello.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hang on 1 second. Let me just deal with Oh no, it's all going off at the moment. Hang on. Sorry, mate. Let me just call. I'll tell you what. You can talk to Gary from Romford with me for a second. Hang on 1 minute.
Hello, Gary from Romford. How are you?
Let's get him on. Let's get him on. 1 minute. Hang on.
Hello.
Hello. Is that Gary from Romford?
Oh, I thought I was on hold.
No. What we'll do is, mate, we'll try and make this one relatively quick because I've got on my son on the show. So you can talk to the pair of us, mate. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Well, the most shocking thing really is when Nuno first came in, I think a lot of fans were thinking, oh, this is the guy to get us out of trouble. But I couldn't believe tonight, after Monday, when I saw that line-up on Monday night, I thought there's no way in a million years. I think Gio said it on his channel where he's going to play Souček and Irving again. When I saw that, I just couldn't believe it. I thought, what are you doing? I mean, the thing I don't get is we watch West Ham every week. I mean, and the Skulls at right back again. Surely there must be the staff that have been promoted from the youth, Robson and Potts. Surely they must be saying to Nuno about Souček and Irving. I mean, surely the trouble is we were 2 goals down in 15 minutes because of his lineup. And I said to my friend tonight, I was watching with. As soon as Potts come on and Rodriguez, we've changed. We've got a lot more hold of the game. But even on Monday night, he made 3 substitutes at half time, put him right. His mistakes he's made in the first place. So we're behind in games with a manager that's picking the wrong team.
Well, this takes us a little bit. Do you remember Lopetegui when Lopetegui used to do this? Pick a weaker team and then almost unfuck his mistakes midway through.
And the earlier, I think Leeds would have stopped. Maybe would have got a bit edgy, but it was too late. But I mean, even Wilson is he's only just. I mean, Wilson, when we beat Nottingham Forest, you saw his movement. How good Wilson was. We got that header against 2 good centre halves at Forest. Let's let it be known. And he's I know he's past his best, but he's still much better than anything else we've got at the club at the moment. But the last caller, Nolly, he's bang on about bringing Alvarez back. I mean. We're crying out for a leader and a voice. We
need a pair of bollocks in the team. We're dying.
I mean, if we could just get him back. I mean, I would personally even think about, if you play Potts, Paqueta, and Rodriguez in midfield,
Alvarez,
Paqueta, Somerville, and what I would do at the back. Yeah. Magassa can play a centre back, and apparently he's better at centre back than he is in midfield.
What about Magassa and Alvarez as centre back pairing?
What, you thinking about getting both of them two out the team? Kilman and Todibo.
The problem is, it's through the spine of the team. The two centre backs are a liability.
Yeah,
they can't head the ball. They can't defend. 80 million for them two. I mean,
well, I was
watching.
And
you've got Souček and Irving. So the spine of the team, it's so slow and it's so suspect.
I was watching. I was watching a completely legal stream tonight, an American one, and one of the chaps after the game, he said, "I've just watched 4 teams." He said, "I watched Leeds, I watched West Ham's defence, West Ham's midfield, and West Ham's attack." Yeah. He said they're not joined up. He said it's not the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and the players do look confused. And you can't put all of that on Nuno. He certainly hasn't fixed any fucking problems, but that was the same under Potter as well. We had players that they look confused.
I mean, even Juice's gone backwards now. Even Juice, who started off really well, he's gone backwards. He looks. The trouble is, I suppose, what's happening is it's spreading through the team.
But he ain't gone backwards. It's like when people pick on individuals. It's like, you got the whole team behind Paqueta when Paqueta's playing up front in the false 9. He don't have a good game. They'll accept that everyone else was shit, but then they'll have a go at him for being shit. Well, what do you want him to do?
My point is,
but the thing is,
every player, Nick, will start to regress.
But Diouf, don't forget, was signed as a wing back for Potter's new system. He's wing back.
I know.
He's a wing back.
And he's better going forward.
But even
going forward, he wasn't really doing it like he was early in the season. But I think, what Potter done, it's fucking travesty letting Alvarez go. You think that guy in that Gold Cup was captain of Mexico? He was pulled out of the tournament and he scored the winning goal. And he can play either midfield or he can play in a centre back. And you've got he was there and we let him go. It's outrageous.
Outrageous. Right. Well, Gary, I'm going to bring Alf in here because I don't know whether you've seen Alf.
I have, yeah. I've seen his shows, yeah.
No, I'm talking to. Just give us a minute, Gary. Hang on, 1 minute. Well, I don't know whether you've seen Troy Deeney's little
you, Gary,
thing that
for
he
watching
did.
my shows, mate. I pity you. I pity you, pal.
But I don't know whether you've seen, Alf, the Troy Deeney thing where he was talking about West Ham's recruitment, and he basically went on to say, this was weeks ago, before Nuno came in, and Alfie said that West Ham keep on employing losers. Even the likes of Fernandes and Hermansen, they've come from relegated teams, so it's a mindset. He's saying
mentality. Yeah.
Now you've got someone like Alvarez. Where did you stand, Alf, on us releasing Alvarez?
Well, I tell you what, it's been a shit show for a long time. You've got players that we've let go where we've got no replacement for them. So in the case of Alvarez, whilst you could look at his performances all the way through last season, you say sometimes he came on, he did great, other times he wasn't so great. But who else was there to replace him? So you've let him go, and there's nobody as good as him. So that's it. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, apologies. I've had a couple of these tonight. So
yes, don't worry. I'm a bottle in. I'm a bottle in.
But that's the problem. The problem is that we've had. How can I put it? We've basically depleted our squad from the top end, taken all of our good stuff out, and we've replaced it with inferior. And that basically it's just been an inverse funnel of stuff going out and crap coming in. And that's basically what we've done.
It's remarkable. Hang on, Gary, I'll bring you back in a second. It's remarkable when you look at... now, look, I know, obviously, Moyes came back in for the second period for a reason. But when you look at the squad and you look at the quality of players that we had in that squad back then, I said, we had Haller, we had Anderson, we had Fornals, we had Lanzini, we had Declan Rice, we had, the defenders speak for themselves. We actually had defenders that could defend. We had Cresswell, like a Pete Cresswell. We had Noble that was still in the team. Now, we're in that period since Moyes' second tenure. We spent around 700 million. How do you arrive at this stage with 700 million pounds worth of investment?
Well, that's because it's complete mismanagement of the club. It's complete mismanagement of the managers, of the coaching staff, and also the direction of the club. So, and this goes back to the whole strategy of recruitment and also the ambition and direction of the club. Now, you take a player like O'Bonna, right? Ogbonna, who was flirting around the Italian national team. He's flirting around Juventus and stuff like that. And he had a lot of respect from not only the West Ham fans, but also a lot of teams around Europe, right? And I kind of got a lot of affiliations and contacts in Italy, and there's a lot of love for Ogbonna, right?
Yeah.
He stayed with us. And there are a couple of seasons with us that he was kind of, are we really sure that he's our, the player for West Ham? Yeah. But he had that one season. I think it was probably his last season or his season before last.
He matured like a fine wine. He did.
100%. He was, for me, I was saying to my lad, he's my hammer of the year. He's 100% my hammer of the year, right?
Yeah.
So you go from that level, and then you get the likes of Dawson in, right? Fantastic, right? But we let these players go.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you think, well, hold on, who we replace? So Zuma comes in, right? And you think, hold on, how often are we getting a really good performance out of Zuma? Now we're looking at Zuma and we're thinking, wow, God, he was fantastic at times compared to what we got now.
I'd give anything to have kind of, Zuma of the last few years before he left back, even when he had the dodgy knee.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so this is where we're at. We're kind of looking back with rose-tinted spectacles, or I like to call
what would you give for Antonio hate to say it, but pre-car crash? Just that Antonio. He was older, but just to have someone like that.
Well, this is a problem. Now we're talking about, I hear a few other channels saying, oh, can we get Antonio back? The problem is, 35-year-old or 34-year-old, okay, legs are gone anyway, right?
That was that.
But I know
he's been through a lot.
But through my a day job, as it were, I know you come through a horrific injury like he went through in terms of his car crash. You're not coming back from that. You're not coming back.
Not the same.
No way at elite level. And there's no way we're going to get him back. No way.
And the thing is, Antonio's game, bless him, it was all about the physical attributes. That's not knocking him. I mean, he was. Look, listen. He's got his knockers, Antonio. I personally loved him. I know he wasn't the most. He didn't have the most skill or anything like that, but he made up for that with his power. And look, we've had Haller come in, we've had Skamaka come in. He's knocked them all out the fucking team. They can't do what he does. He's a force of nature.
Yeah, 100%. What made Antonio a success, right, is that it was his physical attributes.
It was
that he would be able to. He was like a bull in a china shop.
He used to beat defenders up. He would beat centre backs up. Yeah,
but I'd be standing in the corner flag, and we'd all be screaming and shouting and saying, "Where's position, mate? Get on the last defender. Stay in the middle. What's the matter with you? Because he's not a centre forward. He's not a striker. His natural player brain is not to play in that position, but he did the best that he possibly could, and that's why he scored the goals that he could or that he did, because
but the thing is, it wasn't even. You can attribute a lot of the goals that Bowen scored over the years to the chaos that Antonio's created. Because that's what he does. He pulls defenders all over, and Souček pulls defenders all over the place, creates space.
We haven't got that now.
No, we haven't got it. But going back to Gary's point before I bring him back in, Alvarez, I don't know what the situation is. I'm assuming we can bring him back in January. But if there was, I don't know how it works. But if there was some sort of penalty that we could, or a fee that we could pay to Fenerbahce to get that player back on our books, would you do that now? Would you get him back in?
Okay, let me ask you this before I answer that. Right, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is every position in the Premier League worth in terms of at the end of the season? How much is it worth?
It's about 4 million.
It's millions, right? We're talking 3 or 4 million, right?
Yeah, it's about 4 million. Yeah.
So you've got a figure right now. The last couple of weeks, we've all been talking about why isn't Nuno playing Wilson? Well, it's all to do with Sullivan. Why isn't he playing? Is he trying to save money? So the same could be said. Well, trying to bring these players back, or trying to spend in January. How much do you want to spend to save West Ham? How much is it actually worth? Even to take a punt, how much is it actually worth? And that's the thing. If you're going to say, I'm going to pay a penalty to bring Alvarez back, you pay that penalty. 100%.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Because regardless, even if you just break even in terms of the money that you could get from the Premier League just for staying in and landing in 17th position, you do it. You 100% do it.
Absolutely. Right, let's bring Gary back in. Right, Gary, putting you back on loudspeaker, mate. There you go.
Yeah. I've been listening to what I've been saying. I agree with most of what you're saying, really. I mean, one thing we have done, apart from the Alvarez thing, if it's going to cost us a couple of million to bring him back before January, you've got to do it. Because we're crying out for someone with leadership, in that team. And there's another thing, Antonio. I hear so much bullshit from some West Ham fans. They're always slagging off Antonio. He ain't a striker. The guy led that line for years.
He carried this team. He carried this team for a decade.
And I'll take you back to a game against Leeds a couple of years ago. We went up there 2-1.
Yeah. And
Antonio scored a wonder goal in the last. Do you remember the last couple of minutes? We knocked it around the centre half and scored. He was unplayable. And the thing was with Antonio, Nick, we both agreed ages ago, under the Moyes thing, but the two players that Moyes made that system work mainly was Declan Rice and Antonio. When Antonio was on it, everything just fitted around it. You can play it long, you can go behind teams.
Quite often with Mickey, if Mickey had a good game, West Ham had a good game. That's typically the way it used to work with him.
Yeah.
Nick,
another thing we've done, sorry mate, just want to say one thing. Another thing we've done, we've let too many of the senior players go too quickly at the same time. You've got no Bonner there, Creswell, Caval, Antonio. These players, I know we would want to bring the age of the squad down. We did, but we let too many go too quickly. And you can see that team is so quiet, Nick. There's no one out there there's no leadership at all out there.
No,
there's no one.
I'll tell you what. I used to get mocked.
Hang on, Gary, 1 minute. Go on, Alf.
Sorry, Gary. I used to get mocked by a lot of my West Ham mates, and football mates, and so I love Krez. Krez is my favourite player, right? And he was for years and years. How would we like a Krez right now?
Oh,
how would we like, like every player has their problems, right? Every player has their deficiencies. But when you're talking about leadership, when you're talking about experience, when you're talking about letting the players like Krez go and like Emerson go in, then
that's the other one as well. Why did we let Emerson go for what we let him go for as well? I mean, what is that all about?
Yeah. Look, I was doing a bit of digging today, right? And we're talking about the Academy of Football. And there's been a lot of talk recently about what is the West Ham way and all that bollocks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know in the 64-65, 74-75, 79-80, 81, 80-81, when we got to the League Cup final, and the 06